ProWrestlingSheet.com.
When you do think about all the way back to WrestleMania 1, where we did have Liberace and the Rockettes and Cyndi Lauper and Mr. T and Muhammad Ali, I mean, now we're going to hopefully recreate that here as WrestleMania goes Hollywood once again. It really is. It's going to be the most incredible, spectacular, iconic event of all time.
You talked about always embracing your company with pop culture and sports entertainment. How does that come together, especially with certain acts that are hot going on at that time, from whether it be from LA or just around the country?
Well, I think, some could argue that WWE sets the trend in pop culture. I think it works the other way. And it really is a part of WWE's DNA. You know, we want to be what people are talking about. So that's the goal. And I think WrestleMania certainly provides that platform then also for those celebrities to have more exposure than they could have ever possibly imagined in 180 countries and 28 different languages across all forms of digital and social media.
The last time WrestleMania was here was WrestleMania 21. How has the event changed since then?
Let's see. Wow, it's been a long time since WrestleMania 21 when we went Hollywood for the first time. I think it's only continued to grow and evolve, especially when you consider it's now a week-long worth of activations. Now SmackDown's on Friday nights, right? So it was trying to figure out that schedule was a little bit different. We now have over a dozen community events where we're going to local hospitals, boys and girls clubs, visiting with all our partners, as much as we can do in the local community as well, because we don't want to just raise awareness for ourselves. We want to do as much as we can to give back. We also have the Hall of Fame now. We have NXT TakeOver, Raw, SmackDown, WrestleMania, you name it. We're taking over. That's what's happening.
Stephanie, you touched on it. This is a $5 billion stadium. No stadium in the world has ever cost that much and done this much. Your thoughts as you tour this facility?
Oh my gosh, my mind is blown as I tour this facility. It's the first time I've actually been to a live stadium construction site, particularly doing a press event from a construction site. And I'm hearing all about the fifth dimension, I believe is what they're calling it, which is going to be this ceiling, this translucent ceiling where you can not only project up, but you can project down. So when the 90 million people are flying into LA, they're going to see that branding. That's my branding hat from a television production perspective, thinking about all of the elements that we can play with. The big screens that you'll see here, they're going to be facing out and facing in. So no matter where you sit, you're going to have this incredible perspective. Really, my mind's just racing with all of the different things that we can potentially do.
They were saying that because since you guys made the announcement that WrestleMania was going to be part here in Hollywood, are you guys trying to talk to Dwayne The Rock Johnson so he could do a comeback?
We're always talking to Dwayne The Rock Johnson and hoping he's going to come back. Sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't, but we're always talking.
What has he said about WrestleMania 37? Is he excited about it?
Well, I think The Rock is the perfect example of what happens when WWE and Hollywood come together. So I hope that he'll be a part of it, but I can't promise anything.
What about Rey Mysterio and any of the past wrestlers who have been in the WWE?
I would say we need to get through WrestleMania 36 first, which is taking place at Raymond James Stadium on April 5th of this year, and then we can talk.
You guys still have, like you said, WrestleMania coming up, but then you come here and you start thinking about all the different ideas.
Yes.
So how is it to just have to focus on this WrestleMania and not jump ahead to next year's?
It's always a challenge, when you're trying to think about this year's WrestleMania and then you're having an announcement for next year's WrestleMania. Certainly nothing like this has ever happened before. So I think you just have to, compartmentalize like we do with everything else, what it's like to be a talent and an executive and a mother and a wife and everything else. This is no different. You got to focus on the task at hand, but my mind is definitely spinning.
On the business side of things, the last time WrestleMania was in LA, it was just kind of one show. Now it's like a 4 or 5 day long experience. What are some of the elements you're excited to play with in LA to have that 5-day experience?
Well, again, in LA, our mission is to put smiles on people's faces the world over. And one of the things that I love and that our performers love to a T and what they will tell you themselves are the community activations. They are the hospital visits. They are going to the Boys and Girls Clubs and doing our anti-bullying rallies. I actually remember one in particular in East LA when we had one of our performers who at the time wrestled under a mask. and he lifted the mask and exposed his face, and he was showing the kids in the audience the difference between entertainment and reality, and the collective gasp, and just how he related to the kids in the community, because if we can help just one child stand up against bullying, then it's all worth it. And that's just one example. So the community activations all week long are incredibly important to us. Hall of Fame is always one of my most favorite events because I love celebrating our history and hearing all of the stories. Believe it or not, I haven't heard them all. Far from it. And of course, SmackDown, NXT TakeOver, Monday Night Raw, and WrestleMania itself. I mean, WrestleMania is the event my father created. It's such an honor and a privilege to be a part of it.
Steph, you know how big this event is, but when the mayor says some of the people in the community are more excited about this than the Super Bowl, the Olympics, World Cup, I mean, tell me how that makes you feel.
It makes me feel humbled, to think that people would be looking forward to WrestleMania, perhaps even more than the Super Bowl or some of those other big events that you mentioned. And I just hope that we deliver.
What made you guys choose LA this year as opposed to somewhere international or somewhere that maybe hasn't had WrestleMania yet?
Well, there is a whole RFP process. It happens just like the Super Bowl, where different cities, bid on the whole experience. And really, it's the partnership. It's the local organizing committee that really has come through in so many different ways. It's the partnership with Staples Center. It's the partnership with SoFi. It's everything coming together in what you could call a perfect storm. And we look to replicate that every single year and grow it and expand it.
Stephanie, you guys have always been big in communities, especially the cities that you all have visited. With Los Angeles being such a diverse community, how do you guys are able to plan out certain things in various communities to engage with the fans and engage with everybody celebrating WrestleMania 37?
Well, we have, 4 key pillars to our community strategy, and they are hope, empowerment, inclusion, and we are all about working with our partners. Whether it's Special Olympics, whether it's Boys and Girls Club, whether it's Girls, which is a part of the UN Foundation. So we are naturally involved with all of our community partners, which really, help us in the local community. We don't pretend to know, where what needs to happen. That's why we work with Mayor Butts. That's why we work with our partners to really help guide us so that we can make the biggest impact we possibly can.
Stephanie, Ronda Rousey is an LA native. What are the chances you got Rousey back for WrestleMania 37?
I sincerely hope we have Ronda Rousey back for WrestleMania here at SoFi, only I don't want to be the one facing her in the ring.
Rematch? Maybe a singles?
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't work out so well for me last time. I think I'll let her do her own thing.
In all seriousness, is there an expectation that she'll be back maybe before then? She's expressed interest in coming back.
Yeah, in all seriousness,
yeah.
I hope so. I know that
Yeah.
she's very excited about coming back. I think she has some things in her personal life that she wants to do. And when the time is right, she'll be back. I have no doubt about that.
Stephanie, you just mentioned also about having WrestleMania part of at Staples Center. We know that that's the home of the Lakers. Is there going to be that you guys are going to do like tribute to Kobe Bryant?
We did do a tribute to Kobe, the night that we heard about the tragedy, and to everyone else who was on that helicopter. And I think Kobe's memory just lives in everyone, and we all always want to do everything we can to celebrate life and what matters most. I know that I immediately thought of my husband and my daughter, because my oldest daughter's 13, and I think that it hit home in a way around the world that may have been unexpected. But certainly we will do everything we can. I think everybody should do everything they can to honor not just Kobe's memory, but everyone's memory who was on that flight and in the community. We all matter, and I think that's the most important thing to remember.
But adding him to the Hall of Fame, would that be happening next year when you guys?
That could be a potential consideration. Again, we're gonna focus right now on WrestleMania 36 in terms of that Hall of Fame, but certainly anything's possible as we move forward to WrestleMania 37.
Perfect. Thank you.
Really quick question. 2 questions really quickly. One, can we get anything with you possibly of who might be since you got us all here? You got 2 big entrances
Yes, you have
already.
2 big. Yes, I just saw the plan of how we're announcing it, and it wasn't announced.
Usually you announce to just one outlet first.
Yeah,
Like
well-
SI or...
Well, and we do it differently, every different year. And our head of PR is right behind you, so he can actually walk you through what that strategy is. But we do have a plan of how we're going to roll it out, and unfortunately, it's not here.
That's what I like. Really quick question, because you guys, for a lot of kids, young people only on social media, like late night shows, they only get their news from WWE. Like when you guys do a great vignette on MLK or Veterans Day or something. Are you guys going to bring back SmackDown Your Vote to possibly empower people to really get out there and think about that, who may not unless they get prodded by WWE?
At the moment, we are staying away from politics. I think that we're focusing on entertainment and the value that we can bring and bringing people together. When you consider, we actually had at last year's WrestleMania, people from 68 countries and all 50 states, all different socioeconomic backgrounds, all different religious beliefs, all different political beliefs, all coming together to share this one thing that they love, their passion for WWE. I mean, that's what it's about. WWE is about bringing people together.
ProWrestlingSheet.com